Hi, very good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. It's Woody again, with another video. The last week or so, I've been really amazed at the number of people that have been watching the videos. I never really thought they would. Well, I don't know. I just sort of started doing them a few months ago, maybe about 6 months ago, I think, and then I started doing them a little bit more frequently, and now they've really taken off, and there's about 5,000 people watched them in the last month, and I've been talking to people as well, which is just amazing. And it's what I wanted. It's what I really wanted. I wanted to spread the message out, and I wanted to try and help some way for people suffering with cancer. If I can do anything, I understand how the mind works. I used to teach people how to calm their anxious minds. I used to run a course where I used to travel all over Britain doing that. And now perhaps I can pay something back because it's helped me. So, yeah, I've been having these conversations with people. People have been telling me their stories. And hopefully that'll continue. Perhaps we can build something here where you've got somewhere to go where you want to talk to somebody. And perhaps this channel can help. I don't know. It would be something nice. But anyway, the reason I'm doing this video today is next week is my I'm not sure what a good way to explain this. It's like the week that you have every month where you start your tests again and you wait for your blood test results, and it really is quite frightening how potent that feeling is and that thought is about that blood test result. So I mean, this could be for any kind of cancer, but I'm talking specifically about prostate cancer because it's what I have at stage 4. I've had it diagnosed about a year ago now, just over a year, and so I'm trying to share some sort of coping mechanisms that I use and things like that. So next week is that frightening time where I find out whether the prostate cancer is still being held at bay by the drugs I'm on, or whether the PSA level starts to rise. Now, I'm sure that this is the same in any kind of cancer with any kind of scan. So you might have a scan or an MRI scan or a CT scan, any kind of scan, you're going to get that anxiety about the result. Fortunately, with the prostate cancer one, we get the result back fairly quickly, but I know with MRIs and CT scans, I've been waiting up to 2 weeks for those results, and it's not healthy when you start thinking about it too much. So next week is my turn again. And of course the anxiety starts. There's no denying that. There is a certain amount of anxiety in my life right now. It's not as bad as it used to be though. So I really want to reassure people that, especially if you've been newly diagnosed, that this does get easier. I promise you it does get easier. It's not the first time. I remember my first few months, I was terrified to get the result back. I was absolutely terrified. My prostate PSA level was at 288. The average level was 3, so it was way above the scale, and it was climbing, and then it started to sink, and now it's at 0.01, which seems to be at a level where it's unrecognisable in my bloodstream at the moment. However, it's incurable according to my oncologist. However, I will never accept that. Never ever going to accept that, and nor should you. So next week it starts again. The blood test on Tuesday, result on Thursday or Friday, and I try to face this in ways that I try not to put too much attention on it. I know that's really difficult, especially if you are new to this unfortunate event in your life. Having cancer is a huge curveball that gets thrown at us. No one expects it. No matter what we hear about how many people get it, we just don't expect it ourselves. And so there comes that time when, if you do get it and you get this this massive curveball thrown into your life, and all of a sudden your life is now controlled by cancer. At the beginning, I felt that my life was totally controlled by cancer. Every single aspect of my world was run by my cancer. I felt it day and night. I felt it in my thoughts, my feelings, my body, my diary about what I was doing. I was always constantly working a diary to meet cancer demands. And then I found gradually that does drop away. So please be assured that it does get easier. I found that the more I distracted myself, the more I stopped my thinking from going towards cancer, the more I got involved in other things. I did a lot of things like fundraising and things like this. I am now full-time back at work, which I'm so grateful for. I teach people to drive ambulances. It's an amazing job, and I'm very fortunate to be able to do it. My back has just about allowed me to be able to do that. The average person gets about 50,000 thoughts per day. Now, what happens is, if you've got stress in your life, high stress, now most of the time, guys and girls like us with cancer, our stress levels are really going to be probably a bit higher than most people, understandably so. Okay, so we need to bring that stress level down as much as possible, and it starts with our thinking. So if you're doing, the average person has about 50,000 thoughts a day. Okay, most of those thoughts are repetitive, the same thing over and over again. They're a group of thoughts. It's called patterns of thinking, and we get patterns of unhealthy thinking, which is very, very normal. In most human beings, they have patterns of unhealthy thinking. So people tend to think, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not strong enough, those kind of things, and you keep repeating them over and over again, and they form your lifestyle. With cancer, we start getting these patterns of unhealthy thinking. I mean, I'm going through what I've experienced. I keep thinking about when I'm going to die. I keep thinking about, or I used to at least, thinking about, I've got 2 young children. How much longer am I going to have with my children? I think this is very, very natural, but it doesn't help me at all. And at the end of the day, however long I've got left is nothing I can actually control. And so I'm trying to switch them thoughts around. So every time I have a thought that, well, let's put it this way. When you think about something and you really know you're thinking about it, it's called conscious thinking. It's like you suddenly are aware of what your thoughts are. Some of your thoughts are subconscious thinking. These are things that go on in the background in your mind that you might not be aware that you do. Okay? So when you're feeling stressed and you're feeling anxious, and it is that scanxiety that they call it, that you've got this really, really important blood test coming up, or MRI, CT scan, any kind of scan, any kind of situation where you're going to get a result, and that result is then dependent on your, well, particularly in our case, on life expectancy. You're bound to get anxious about it. So when you start feeling that anxiety, when you start feeling that stress, and when you start thinking that that's taking over, and I've read so many people telling me, well, not telling me, but telling the world how stressed they are, especially on Twitter and Facebook, on cancer groups. What you need to do is get a pen and paper and write down the thoughts that you're having at that moment. Write them down. Write down what you're thinking about, and then compare them to actually what actually comes true. What we tend to do is we tend to really, really over dramatize things in our thinking. So when we tell ourselves negative things in our conscious mind, the subconscious mind acts on that. So whatever you tell yourself in a subconscious way, or in a conscious way, Your subconscious believes that. That's why you start feeling sick. That's why you start feeling nervous and anxious. So when you consciously tell yourself something, your subconscious takes over. Now, your subconscious is 95% of your brain. Okay? And that is the thing that runs you. It basically runs your body. So the more you keep telling yourself how bad you feel, the more you keep telling yourself how everything is so horrible, it's completely understandable. Your body will become that way. Your subconscious mind will make you feel that way. And once you start feeling that way, then it's like this horrible circle that just spirals out of control, and you get deeper and deeper and deeper to places you don't want to go. Okay? In order to change that, I'm not saying that you're going to cure cancer, but you're going to cure the way you deal with it. Because you could have two people with two identical diagnoses of cancer, and one person will have a much better experience than the other, purely by the way they think about it. And that is so true, and it's something that you should consider. It's something that I recognised. I used to teach it, not about cancer, but about everyday life, about positivity, and about the power of your thinking. I never realised when I was teaching it just how real it really is. I've really come to the conclusion that it is so real that it's a weapon we've got. And if you understand it by just taking your thoughts, listening to what you're telling yourself, and then switching them around, start consciously telling yourself that you're going to feel better, that your results going to be good. Like I say, you can't control things that are uncontrollable, but you can start making yourself feel better about it. Okay? I do a daily mantra every day. I do it several times a day. Sometimes I might do it 10 times a day. I repeat it over and over again. If I'm in the shower, just before when I wake up, just before I go to sleep, every single day, I've been saying to myself, every day in every way, I feel better and better. Every day in every way, I'm growing stronger and stronger. And every day in every way, my cancer is growing weaker and weaker. My subconscious mind is sitting up and taking notice of this. I've got really, really good results. Tumours have started to shrink even after a year. My oncologist is amazed. Okay, she says that I'm a walking miracle. I don't know whether she means that or whether she's trying to make me feel good about it, but from having tumours in my spine that started to shrink when they were supposed to be irreparable a year ago, I was told that they would never heal. They've now changed to half the size. And I'm convinced it's the mind-body connection. It's me telling myself over and over again the positive side of stuff and trying to keep myself as positive as possible. And these mantras help a lot. But just by recognising your thought patterns and trying to avoid going down that alleyway of getting into patterns of unhealthy thinking, when you start thinking there's no way out and that this is the end and all that stuff, all that negativity. Change it. Think about the positives in your life. Think about even going for a walk, getting in nature, being a bit mindful, taking up mindfulness exercises, Tai Chi. You can do sit-down Tai Chi. You can do so many things that you perhaps might not have believed possible. If you are incapable of walking, you can do things like that, things that settle your mind. Okay, cancer is a horrible experience, but hopefully by looking at my video today, you might find a little bit of a way of making it a slightly better experience. If I can give that to you, then that's an achievement that I'm really, really happy about, and that doing these videos makes it worthwhile. So please tell me how you're feeling. Please tell me if you need any help. I'm happy to talk to people. I'm happy to have messages. I'm happy to even talk to people on the phone. I want to help. I'm finding things myself. I have good and bad times. There's no doubt about that. I accept the bad times. I don't fight them. I accept them, and they go away quicker. When I try and fight them, I find they just try and cling on too much. So I go to my thoughts. I analyse my thinking patterns. I realise what I'm telling myself, and I change it. And I deliberately try and tell myself, even if I'm lying to myself, I start switching it round, and my body feels better, and it has a massive cycle of positivity, a good effect on me. And I'm hoping that that'll work for you. So until the next time, if you like the video, please make a comment. If you want to share it, I don't mind. If it helps one person out there, I know people are telling me now that it's helping, then that is just fabulous. So until next time, take care. I'll see you again. Bye.